Hi, this is service manual for Panasonic SA-VK650 AEE. It's a DVD stereo system for home. It had the capability of 2 speakers and subwoofer. According to the specification of this, it has the capability of producing 95 watts per channel at 4 ohm, 1 kilohertz, and also total of 285 watts total. It got radio AM, FM, cassette decks, and a DVD capability. The complaint from the customer was that, or the owner, it won't turn on anymore. So after opening it up, open the unit up, and plug it in the power lines, the unit, it turns on and off, and the VDF screen is flickering. Now, in my own experience, when you have a symptom like this, always check either the CPU is bad or the power line or the power circuitry is bad. Now, this unit uses a linear power supply, not a switch mode power supply. And I love linear power supplies because they are more powerful, but they also got their problems. The switch mode power supplies are more accurate in the power, but they also have their failures and their downfalls. Here is the schematic for the power supply board, and it's linear, like I said. Here is the rectifier diodes. Here is the main transformer, which is a 220 volt and even 110 volts AC. It's a 7 ampere transformer. Here is the on-off relay that controls it directly from the processor through the processor. Here is the main fuse for this entire circuitry, which is a, let's zoom in on this. It's a 250 volt, 1 ampere. Wow. And 100 watt. 100 watt. Oh yeah. And this is the constant voltage transformer, which always stay on directly through the wall socket, through this fuse, and it's a 200 milliampere transformer, which is provide the VCC for the processor through this diode blocks, this capacitor, and this transistor that regulate the circuitry, regulate the voltage to 6 volt to the processor. Now, always Panasonic has been notorious to have a very sensitive, let's say sensitive power supply because they always use transistors, and transistors, they are not that good as ICs. If I were in my opinion, an LM7800-05 will be more suitable than this transistor over here. After testing this transistor, the output of it become unstable when it got warm, and those capacitors, this one and this one and this one, are bad. So I replace them, and then I reassemble the board, and then I turn it on. Now after I turn it on, it worked fine, but when you play music or input music, it display F61 on the screen, and F61, it's an error. This manual, on the other hand, is very handy. It got an error diagnostic and chart in it, and I will flip to the diagnostic section and see what F61 means. Here's the diagnostic chart. F61 is power IC AMP IC output abnormal. Upon power on, B connect equals high, DC detect equals low after checking ESP. It's a power AMP section. So I'm going to search now for the AMP circuitry. Okay, here's the power ICs. It's interesting that they don't put the part number, they put a serial number. The other manuals, they usually put the serial numbers on the IC, and on the manual you can find out what the original number is. But in this case, it's the opposite. Now, this IC, regardless of the number it's written here, it got the name of TDA 8920, which is this guy over here. This is the TDA 8920B. It's two output. It's D. It's 100 watt per channel. It normal operation between 12 volts and 30 volts. Wow, 100 watt from this IC and two lines. Wow, I don't believe this for a second. 50, okay. This is the data sheet for it. Okay, 12 volt typically, max 30 volts. Wow, I'm guessing this IC got hit by a unstable voltages and exceeded the 30 volts, so it shorted in the inside. Here's the circuitry. This is the left and right driving IC. After checking it, it revealed to be okay, working fine, and a normal signal is coming out of those both output lines. But the other one, which is this one. It's the subwoofer EMP. Now the subwoofer EMP, it's the same number like that one, but instead of getting those two lines for dialing the subwoofer speakers, they are using one, and this is the output line. This line is shorted. Now the TDA 8920, it's not available here in our market, so I contacted the client, and the client said that he's in a hurry for getting it to work. So according to this, after studying this circuitry, I modified the EMP for putting a 2 TDA 2050 ICs as a substitute for this IC circuitry. Now, as we will see in late in the video, how I install it and how I assemble the entire unit back. Now, when I took a look at this circuitry over here, it has one of the ridiculously circuit that I have ever seen. As we will see here, all these power regulators are transistor, not a single regulator IC is installed. That's really not a wise decision by the designers. This is the output section. And those are the output line chokes. And this is the fan on-off switch, which is monitored and powered by and controlled directly by the CPU. If you disconnect this fan from this circuit, it will also display F61. What a dumbass designed is this. I love the old type amplifiers. They are way more reliable than this. What should I say? It's fucked up. Now back to the unit. Back on the Panasonic amplifier. This is a look inside of the Panasonic. This is the entire processor. This is the board that holds the FM toner. The cassette demodulator is over here with the pre-EMP. This is the power output amplifier, the power board that supplies the VCC for and the power rails for the processor, and the power rails rectified for the amplifier. Now the amplifier board is made of two TDA 892 IC. Looking a closer look at the datasheet of it. It's supposed to deliver 800 watt per channel. Now I don't see how they can manage that, but there is an old saying: in order to give power, you must have power. In a little transformer like this, I don't think at all. This is a 7 amperes transformer. I don't believe in hell this can give or drive 100 watt per channel, not to mention 2 speakers, each one 100 watt, and a subwoofer is 100 watt. That means the total is 300 watt. Well, after further testing of the previous malfunction, which is the error message on the display E61, we discovered that the subwoofer amplifier, for some reason, it just shorted inside. Does not appear to be damaged or anything. It just stopped working and gave a 27 volt in the outside line of the connection in the subwoofer terminals. Now, ordering the TDA 8920, it will take 2 months and the customer is in a hurry. So we assembled a circuit board like this. This is a circuit board. In the old PC, in the old cooler, we added TDA 250. According to the datasheet, it will produce a 35 watt per channel. 35 watt, we added 2, and we assembled them, and one shall give the positive line and one will give the negative line. Now TDA 2050 will give 35 watt. 35 watt plus 35 watt will give 70 watt. Now it will power up the subwoofer with no big trouble.